to Hot Topics, and this is Contemporary Black Voices, where we talk about issues impacting the Black community. Now, as we had stated in our last show, today's hot topic was going to be about, is MAGA detrimental to Black Americans? However, we're going to take a prerogative here and do a slight pivot and talk about Hunter Biden, since he is obviously a hot topic in this nation right now. Now, to kind of tie in the MAGA piece, it looked like the MAGA politicians really pushed for this indictment in terms of his illegal carrying of guns. So we're going to talk about Hunter, his impact to the nation, if there is an impact to the Black community. And so with that being said, Fred, you still mad at me for taking your show?
Oh, you just pulled a dictator thing in here. A dictator. I was all ready to talk about MAGA, and you said no. I'm going to talk about Hunter Biden.
MAGA and how,
you just kicked me to the curb, Sharon. Dang, that's female power. That's woman power. That's Black woman power, isn't it?
Yeah.
Black women take it over. Take it over. We Black men better unite.
Better unite.
So what are we should be concerned with, if any, about Hunter Biden?
Okay. Yeah. It's a smoke screen for Trump. If they can tie Joe Biden to Hunter Biden, and the Freedom Caucus, which is the MAGA group, are pushing for an impeachment inquiry, which you're going to get because we have a very weak Speaker of the House. He'll do anything to hold on to being Speaker instead of doing what's right. So now you're going to have the impeachment inquiry starting at the same time that they're going to start their indicting Hunter Biden. And the thing is, so now if they have, believe me, folks, it only takes 218 votes to impeach. And they have like 222 votes in the House. It'll never be convicted in the Senate. But now what do you have? And of course, the American people, I believe, are vulnerable to this. You take away the impeachment argument against Trump if he wins the nomination, because now you got Biden, who's also impeached. So you have two impeached running for president. Now let's take a look at what Hunter Biden. I guess one of the big charges is that when Biden met with the
Justice.
in Ukraine, when he met with the people in Ukraine, when they wanted some change to be made, and he told him, make these changes or we're going to see you out of there. Now, what the Republicans say, those changes were tied to give my son all this money or I'm going to get you fired. Now, come on, folks. This guy was just the vice president. Do you think he's going to go over there? Obama would have kicked his butt if he'd have known he was going to do that. The vice president, just like today, the vice president takes the orders from the president. They are not an independent person at all. And Biden, knowing at some point he wanted to run for president, would never have taken that chance. So that's a bogus argument. And all this other stuff, okay, Hunter Biden filled out an application for a gun and lied about being on drugs. When in this God's creation did the Republicans ever worry about somebody lying about getting a gun?
Never.
Never. They love guns. They want no. In fact, if they had their way, there'd be no requirements to get a gun. All of a sudden, this is an important issue. Oh, he lied about getting a gun. All this stuff is bogus, man. And
much to do about nothing.
But yeah, and then I guess he didn't file his income tax for 2 years. Man, they would put half America in jail if they arrested everyone who lies on their taxes or didn't file their taxes. But now they want to make that an issue. So, folks, come on, don't fall for the BS out there that's happening with Hunter Biden. That's all it is.
The problem I see is that the Democrats, blacks, whomever you want to talk, liberals, nobody ever says anything about the atrocities that these folks are doing. MAGA, Republicans, whoever it might be. Nobody ever talks about what it is that they're doing. And I think what you're talking about is, yeah, it's all a smokescreen, but somebody should be saying something about we're not going to take this anymore.
Well, what they're doing, finally, is they're bringing up Kushner. Is it Kushner?
Yeah.
Kushner.
Yeah.
As soon as he walked out of the White House, he got a $2 billion deal from Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Now, if these Republicans are so concerned, and then Trump's daughter, I think she got, 5 or 6 rights to produce dresses in China. And they're not worried about that. So
Maxine Waters says she gonna go to jail with Trump.
the daughter.
Yeah.
You know, what's really incredible about this Hunter Biden thing is that it's a huge distraction from these, the Freedom Caucus and other supporters of doing the job they were assigned to do. We've got people who are homeless. We've got people who are, about to go into, being evicted from apartments and homes. I'm not hearing anything that they're doing to help the people who voted for them versus, just bringing up stuff that where none of us are going to benefit from. We've got a budget issue. The federal government may shut down. What are they doing to prevent these things?
And they haven't said anything about Tommy Tuberville.
Oh, about what he's doing.
Yeah.
We got the head of the Marines, the Army.
You
Nobody can get
Right.
confirmed because what he's doing.
Right. You're talking about Hunter Biden, but that's a more pressing issue with Tommy Tuberville, and he's a Republican, and the Republicans need to do something about getting this guy in order because our defense is at question.
At risk. Mm-hmm.
That is a gentleman's club over there, and they don't like to go. I think they're getting more and more to the point where they want to take him on, but that's up to McConnell.
Take who on?
Tuberville. That's up to McConnell. He's minority leader. They need to put Tuberville in a room and tell him, hey, man, you got to stop this or such and such is going to happen. And McConnell has that much power, but for some reason, he's not doing it.
He might have forgot.
And think about this guy. What frightens me about him is this sucker coach black football players.
Tuberville, yeah.
He coached black football players, made him.
Right.
And that's just freaking disgusting.
Right.
Because there's so many like that take our kids and they make their reputation at the back of these kids getting broken bones and we know how many are going to make it to the pros. Not that many.
So we just got, a serious issue. We've got the Hunter Biden issue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because the Republicans couldn't indict Hillary.
Oh, they're still angry about that.
They're still angry about that.
Yeah.
They can figure how to indict her.
Yeah, they still do it.
They do it right now. So Hunter, he up there getting high. He's up there doing whatever he's doing. And so they took the low-bearing fruit. Took the low-bearing fruit to justify whatever it is they think they're doing. So
and half their kids are doing the same thing. Half their kids are doing
so
getting high.
so the question now becomes, will this indictment backfire
Will it backfire?
on the Republicans?
I think it will.
Well, first of all, you have to give, and at this point, I'm not willing. You have to give the American people credit to see through this. But they elected Trump, so I've lost a lot of confidence in the mentality of the voters out there. How in the world can you elect a guy like Trump? And they did it. And the big problem is, if the thing works and Trump gets the nomination and they could use that against Biden and Trump gets reelected. Whoa.
I told you my bags were packed.
You're packed.
Yeah.
You're going to Costa Rica.
Yeah, if Trump gets to even be a candidate, he should not even be a candidate because he should not be eligible if he is especially convicted of a felony.
Well, you can be a felony. You can be a felon.
Okay.
And still be president of the United States.
How you gonna do it if you're incarcerated?
That's a good question. But I tell you what, if that happens, Contemporary Black Voices is gone. You can forget it. He will be like a dictator, and he'll go around anybody criticizing him. He'd put Carl out of business, and that's the danger of this guy. Is an autocrat.
Yes.
He has dictatorial, and what's amazing, man. And I know I'm going to tick off a lot of people out there, but when we criticize the German people for following Hitler, and a lot of people here, they're following a Hitler-like
Preach on, brother.
person.
Preach on,
Who
brother.
will do the same thing, and they're following him, and that's frightening, man.
Very frightening.
Yeah.
Got my bags packed.
So, but back to Hunter Biden. I don't know why the district attorney Weiss is his name decided he was pressured into doing this, and I would imagine I wouldn't put it past. I'm not saying he did this. Biden concurring with this decision because that takes the pressure off Biden because they can't say Biden is protecting his son, and it was the attorney general that appointed him to do this investigation.
What attorney general?
What's their term? I can't think of the name right now.
The state? I mean,
Federal United States Attorney General. Marlin or Marlin?
Myron.
We're all stuff.
Garland.
Yeah.
Merrick Garland.
Merrick Garland. He appointed Weiss to carry on this investigation.
They need to get rid of him, too.
But will that backfire on Biden? It could, but it could work to his advantage because he could say, look, I did not get involved in the trial of what's happening with my son.
Look, whatever it is, it ought to be on the back of some newspaper someplace. He agrees to whatever they're going to give him, and it's done, and it's over. To me, like I just told you before, it's a much to do about nothing.
Whatever happens, the Republicans are not going to be happy. They're going to drag.
Are they ever happy?
Yeah.
The only thing they're happy with is Trump.
Yeah. They're going to drag this out if they can until the 2024 election, because it to them it kind of balances out in this particular area of doing wrong things between Trump and Biden, but it really doesn't.
I think the thing that liberals and Democrats should look at is that you cannot elect a Republican. Now, I'm not saying that all Republicans are bad, but what I am saying is that the Republicans that we had before, like the John McCains, like the Mitt Romneys, the people like that, or maybe even, what's the girl that was Cheney? Liz Cheney? Yeah, Cheney. You know, I mean, these are people who have integrity. Okay. And I believe America needs a two-party system. However, these folks have gone off the rails.
You talk about the Republicans.
Yeah. And the MAGA Republicans. Yeah.
Well,
you can't depend on them. They are irrational.
And then we also have to, I know we're concentrating on Hunter Biden, but we also have to say that we have to vote.
We have to vote.
We have to vote. In 2010, oh man, black people got excited about 2008. We got out voted for Obama. We should have kept that same energy, because what we did is we sat back and that Tea Party in 2010 took over. It made it very difficult for Obama as a president. And fast forward, it gave us Donald Trump.
That's right.
And it gave us this, the Tea Party is now this Freedom Caucus. And we do have one of our, I won't call his name, congressman from this area who is part of the Freedom Caucus, a very vociferous member of the Freedom Caucus. He took over Congressman Lamar Smith's area. But he's one of these people pushing this.
Who was that? Say his name.
Chip Roy.
Okay.
Chip Roy. He took over Lamar Smith's place. But this whole thing ties together because, man, they are willing to close down the government to get their way.
And this is going to impact the black community, because a lot of our people are in civil service.
it's going to impact
And what
millions of people on Social Security. That's why I don't believe they're going to do it. Because
What will happen to Social Security?
you won't get people won't get their Social Security checks.
What?
No.
Oh man, hey, we gotta. Hey,
And I tell you, that's not going to happen because old folks sit home and say, "Honey, is the day to vote yet?" They wait for the day to vote, and they get out, and these politicians know that. So I think they'll get this budget thing. But the fact, I mean, this should frighten everyone. That you have, I think there's 36 members of the Freedom Caucus, which would be the part of the MAGA group, that can control what happens and affects millions and millions of people. That's dangerous.
very dangerous. So, in closing, tell me how all of this is supposed to help them with shutting down the government.
It's a tactic.
How? Okay, so whether they indict Hunter Biden or whether or not they bring these,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
you know, what's that got to do with
It's not
anything?
going to affect them. It's not going the people, these folks, their constituents back their stupidity because their constituents are pretty stupid. Because and so they don't care because it's not going to hurt them at all. And we need what we need to do next year is get the Democrats back in charge of the House of Representatives so we can have people who know the difference from being a politician and being a person that has the responsibility for the functioning of this government.
Wrap us up and take us out.
And that's a very big difference. So this whole thing, Sharon, you want to?
Well, there's a lot there's a lot at stake. And so whether it's Hunter Biden or figuring out how to impeach or indict Hillary Clinton, the real issue is how are these actions affecting the Black community and the community at large? And with that, thank you for listening to our hot topic.
And we'll close out, as usual, telling our story, our way, right here at Contemporary Black Voices at Black Video Network.
Amen.